Hey guys, how's everyone doing? I think we're live now. Yeah, we are, and we're live. Let's get started. Had a bit of a technical difficulty there, but it didn't hold us up too much, just a minute. So welcome to the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of June, 2019. Time is 10:01 a.m. here in the UK, and you're looking at we're going to switch to a gold chart. And wow, did my gold trade from last week not work out? And then it shot up like crazy. So, most traders think that, or most new traders think that trading's about making a consistent weekly or monthly income. But that's just not the reality of trading. The truth is, some weeks you're just going to lose money. And last week was one of those weeks for me. Last week I did not do good. I ended up losing two trades. One of them was this gold trade, which came within a freaking pip of my target. That was that was Thursday. Came within a pip of my target, and then shot around and did this. Now, of course, I got stopped out here, not all the way up there, but that was kind of crappy. Just missed my target. Oh well, it happens. What can you do? Then I'm not a fundamental trader guy, and honestly, I've only just started trading gold. I don't really know much about it. I don't know what moves it, what motivates it, what its feelings are. I just don't know much about gold. Gold is something that I stayed away from for a very long time because when I first started trading, and for the first like 4 or 5 years of my trading career, the spreads on gold were absurdly high. They were absurdly high to the point where it was almost untradeable in the spot market. So I just kind of took it off my list of things to even think about, and I never looked at it again for a decade. And then recently, someone mentioned it. I think it was a year and a half ago. Someone mentioned it on the forum, and I started looking at it, and I realized that the spreads had fallen quite significantly to the point that it was tradable. So I started trading it again. Well, not again. I've started trading it for the first time, and I really don't know much about it. I have to be honest. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know much about it. Not that experienced in it. I plan to become experienced in it, but right now I don't know much about it. Point is, failed trade. And then AUDCAD. I shared an AUDCAD short, which triggered me in and then went up and took me out. And I shared a Euro USD long, which was an amazing trade. But I didn't take that one. Nope, I didn't take that one. I took the two bad trades. But, I'm just joking around. I really don't care. This is just the reality of trading. I'm used to this kind of stuff, and you have to be used to it, and you have to just laugh it off because this is how trading works. Some weeks you're just going to be on the ball taking a bunch of winning trades. Some weeks you're going to take a few failed trades. You're going to spot some setups that you don't enter for whatever reason, and those are the ones that just really kick off and make a ton of profit, and you didn't get in. I know a lot of you did get into this Euro USD long though, and some of you are still in it. Some of you have gotten out with a nice little bit of profit. So good on you guys for taking this Euro USD long. Unfortunately for me, I skipped it and I took these other two trades, which ended up stopping me out. Well. Let's look for some new setups today, guys, but also let's take a quick look at the news. We need to know what's coming up. So we got this week 30 minutes, RBA Governor Lowe speaks. What's the time in Sydney? 7 p.m. All right. I was thinking that's a bit late for him to speak, but he's probably speaking at some kind of evening convention. Yeah, dinner in Sydney. It's only it's going to start at 7:30 p.m. Sydney time, 10:30 a.m. here. Yeah, I mean, this could move the market. I'm looking to get into an AUDJPY short trade, so I'm probably going to hold off until after this, just to be safe. But we'll take a look at that in a second. Other than that, guys, this afternoon we have Fed Chairman Powell speaking. Again, this could be a market mover, like any speech. It could be a market mover, but it's not going to stop me from entering trades today. If I see potential trades, I'm still going to enter trades. Then overnight, we have at 2:30 a.m. the GDP out of Australia. And everything else is going to happen after the next webinar, so we'll discuss it in the next webinar. So things to watch out for today are, of course, speeches. Speeches you always watch out for. It's not going to keep me out of trades. I'm not going to like skip trades because of this Fed Chairman Powell speech. The potential AUDJPY, which I'll show you guys in a second, I'll probably just skip until after this speech just because it's so close. I mean, it's starting in 23 minutes. The last I looked, the trade hadn't really triggered, so there's no rush to get in anyway. We may as well wait till after the speech is over. And the GDP out of Australia, that could be a market mover, especially... sorry, not especially, because I'm planning on possibly entering an AUDJPY trade, this could have a bit of an impact. So we'll take a look at that. Righto. Let's take a look at some actual potential setups, guys. AUDJPY. Now, I'm looking to get in short here on AUDJPY. I was looking to get in short yesterday. I was planning on an entry around about down here, but I waited until after all of this news came out from Australia overnight, 2:30 to 5:30 a.m. The cash rate was the big one that kind of kept me out, with, of course, the accompanying RBA rate statement. So I stayed out because of that, and now I'm looking for a potential short here. Now, of course, a short might not happen here, but what I'm looking at essentially is price has fallen into the support area and bounced away from the support area. It stalled on top of the support area before finally breaking through, pulling back up, and now it's struggling to get up through this area. So support has become resistance. Is it going to last as resistance? Well, let's see how this candle here on the 8-hour chart plays out. If this candle manages to make some new highs, then I'll start to think that this resistance area might not last. If price just starts to stall out here or continues to stall out here, I'll definitely be looking for a short. Now, I'm looking for a short on possibly the 12-hour, maybe even the daily. But if you want to get in earlier, you probably have to look at the 8-hour or the 6-hour. I tend to be a bit more cautious, so for me, I'm gonna go towards the 12-hour to look for my entry, just because that's going to give a bit of a safer entry. If you want a bit of a riskier entry, but potential to get in at a better price, or to maybe get in at all, because if you wait for the 12-hour, you might miss the setup completely. But what I'm looking for essentially is for price to stall on this resistance area, looking for a short and a potential continuation down, because price is trending down here on AUDJPY, and now that it's broken this low, it looks like it could definitely continue down from here. Do keep in mind though that these are very, very significant lows. This is the lowest point price has been in a long time, unless you include this anomaly here. Now this anomaly, it's hard to really include it. This happened on January 3rd, 2019. It was because of low liquidity and bots over the holiday period just going crazy. It was a lot of banks lost a lot of money with this one, and I'm sure a lot of people gained a lot of money too. But before then, the last time it was down at these lows was June 2016. And even then, it didn't last at these lows. The time before that was September 2011. So these are rare lows for AUDJPY is what I'm trying to say. These are rare lows. So while I do want to enter short for a continuation, I am fully aware that price might have trouble getting further down than here just because they are extreme lows. Nonetheless, I'll be looking for a trade here on AUDJPY, a short trade. I'm waiting for price to stall out on resistance on the 12-hour. On the 6-hour, it's already stalling out. So for those of you who want to get in a bit early, perhaps wait for the 6-hour candle to close, see if it stalls, and then if price starts dropping from there, jump in short. But I'm gonna exercise a bit more discipline and wait for the 12-hour. There's already a post for this setup on the forum. I made it last night when I was looking at entering, when I was first looking at this setup. So you guys can check that out, subscribe to that post for email notifications, and just keep up to date with that setup on the forum. Right, let's look for other setups. And I'm also going to unmark ADCAD because that was a failed one and that's gone now. Kind of a little bit interested here on gold, actually. So ADCAD off the table. Euro USD, I think most of you are out. I'm going to keep this marked as green as an open. I think most of you are out, but I know some are still in. So we'll keep that marked as an open trade for now. With gold, we're getting price stalling up here at this resistance area. It's a bit above the resistance area, but with such a strong move, it's no surprise that it would poke through that resistance area. This is a strong overall resistance area on gold. It's had two significant bounces. Price is now just above that resistance area, but I feel that if it starts dropping from here and makes new lows, there would definitely be some potential for a short trade here. Now, the issue with a short trade here would, of course, be the risk to reward ratio. Let's say you were to enter down here, you'd have to have a pretty wide stop to get it above those highs, and that's going to lead to a not fantastic risk to reward ratio. So there is definitely potential for a short here. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. New Zealand CHF, nothing much. Euro JPY. There was a short here last week that I did not take, that a few people took. That seems to be going pretty well. It's a short continuation. It's very similar to what I want to do with AUDJPY, but AUDJPY hasn't taken off yet, whereas Euro JPY has taken off yet already. And similar thing here on GBP CHF, except GBP CHF never really stalled on support. But anyway, there's no tradable setup there right now. Well, actually, maybe there is. Let's get some support resistance areas in on GBP CHF. There's an obvious one down here. Question is the one in the middle? Ooh, yeah, there is. Around there. Well, there was in 2017. Let's see how that holds up. Yeah, kind of. Not a great one, not a great one. We could see that it bounced along there. It is stalling there right now, but it's a lot of momentum that you'd be going against to go long here. Hey, Paul. Yeah, I'm not gonna go long here, guys. This is a stupidly strong trend. This support or resistance area, rather, well, support and resistance, but I have a feeling it might be acting as resistance now. If anything, I'd want to take a short here if price stalls out, but I think I'm going to come back to this one tomorrow. Right now, I don't really see a clear setup there. Euro GBP has broken above resistance, headed up to the next resistance area, it would seem, but I'm not going to do anything with that one. AUDUSD, doing a bit of a climb up to this resistance area, but not quite at it yet. See, this resistance is a bit tricky, but I am going to keep it here. I'm not going to move it down. I want to see what happens if price pops up to that resistance area, but it's not there yet, so let's not worry too much about that. CAD CHF stalling out on support, potential long, but those wicks down below make the risk to reward ratio impossible, so I'm not going to do anything with that. Euro CAD. Interesting. So what we have here on Euro CAD is we have a range. Price is stuck in a range. It's not a clean range. A clean range, what I define as a clean range, would be when price hits the bottom boundary of the range and the top boundary and pulls away quickly. So what does that mean? That means price hits the top, which is this resistance area, pulls down to the bottom, hits the bottom, pulls up to the top, hits the top, bottom, top, bottom, top, so on and so forth. Now this is not a clean range because this, we have price hitting the top, hitting the bottom, getting halfway up, then poking through the bottom a little bit more, then going all the way to the top. Instead of stalling at the top, it breaks through, comes back down, breaks through again, comes back down, hits the bottom support very, very well and bounces away, hits the top, bounces halfway away. So it's a range, but it's a messy, messy range. So while there is potential for a short here, which looks to be forming right now, right at the moment, you could enter potentially on the 12-hour chart within the next few hours if it starts to move down a little bit. You would have to keep in mind that as soon as you look to the left, you would see that price is just stalled out. Stalled out a lot through there. So you could jump in short, but it would be a struggle for price to get down. Look, I'm going to mark this as a potential trade here on EuroCAD. Mark this as a potential short trade. I'm probably not going to enter it myself. It's way too messy for me. There's a lot of risk entering here. What I would recommend if you are planning on entering this one would be to have a very conservative target and then extend it depending on how price moves. So you could start off with a target of 1.5R, which does seem quite achievable. And if price is moving quickly and you're getting some momentum, extend that target down. But unless you do get some momentum, just be very careful with this one, because you might be stuck in this trade for, you know, something like 28 days while it does nothing for you, which might not make it worth it. Honestly, I'm not that excited about that one. I've marked it as a potential, but I'm not going to. It's highly unlikely that I would trade that myself. GPAUD. This looks a bit more interesting. Let's move this one up. Now, price, obviously the pound has been falling quite a bit. It has hit this support area now. This is a strong support area. Last time it dropped down to here, it bounced away very, very definitively. Beyond that, this is not a great area. It's had a few minor bounces in the past, but it's not a very strong area beyond that. But last time it was here, price did bounce away quite violently. I don't know if violently is the right word, but quite significantly, let's say. Just realized the mic was pretty far from my face. Moved it a bit closer. So price did bounce away quite significantly. Price is stalling there again right now, so I'm looking for a long here. I'm going to wait for the daily. So I want to see this daily candle close. After this daily candle closes, let's zoom in a bit. I'll be looking for a potential long from here. Entry, depending on how it closes, but let's just pretend it closes exactly as it looks like now. It would be something like this in terms of target, entry, and stop. So my entry would be 1.8202, target 1.8419, and stop 1.8113. Potential to extend that target further depending on how price reacts. So this is something I'm watching. I want to see how it closes on the daily. Now, for those of you who are very anxious to enter and want to get into trades early, it looks like there is potential on the 12-hour for a similar entry if it starts to push up and make new highs right now. Similarly, I don't know why I can't say that word today. On the 8-hour, you could get in. But you guys know me. I'm more of a patient trader, so I'll probably wait for the daily on there. Can't remember why I marked this. Oh no, I need these for a video that I'm doing, so I'll keep those marked there. New Zealand CAD. Nothing much there. Oh wait, that was last week, wasn't it? Or was that the... No. Yeah, I exited this trade last week, but I still had a failed week altogether. Kind of sucky week last week. Took a few losses on the lower time frames too. How did you guys do on lower time frames last week? Were any of you trading them? It wasn't as good as previous weeks. I think the markets were trending a little bit too much. Last week was just a horrible week for me. I forgot that I exited New Zealand CAD earlier in the week, but it's just what it's like. Some weeks are like amazing, and then some weeks you just get completely owned by the market. It's not... I always find it funny that like new traders think, oh, I'm going to start trading. I want to make 5% per month, or I want to make, sometimes they tell me money. They say, I want to make 1,000 per month, thinking that Forex is like this weekly paycheck. Like someone comes and they mail you a check and you go to the bank and you cash it in and you make money every single month. And, you know, you can be profitable every single month. You know, that can happen. It's not unheard of. You could have like a crazy good year. But thinking that it's always going to be 1,000 every month. One month is going to be $50. The next month is going to be $10,000. And then it will just, you know, these are just numbers I'm making up on the spot. Obviously, these don't hold any real value, but I'm just saying that there is, it's not a consistent paycheck like a lot of people like to think it is. Sorry, while I'm talking, I'm just trying to get some support resistance for New Zealand JPY, but it's quite a tough thing to do, it would seem. I know traders who trade a different style to me. They trade more longer term swing trading, and they don't talk about bad weeks or months. They talk about bad years. So sometimes they might have a whole year where they're losing money. And that's serious. A whole year where you're losing money. Let alone a few bad weeks spotted throughout your year. Back to the actual analysis though, guys. New Zealand JPY is a bit interesting here. It's broken below the support area. It's pulled back up to support. Support's now acting as resistance and it's stalling out. There's not much support below here. This is very similar to my AUDJPY potential. So I am going to keep an eye on this one. This looks pretty decent. So here on the 12-hour, it might start dropping down. Let's zoom in a bit here. It looks like it's starting to drop down already, so there's potential for an entry here also. Could do something like this down to the next support area. That would be a pretty large target, but continuations. Yeah, all right. Got a lot of potentials today, guys. New Zealand USD, something else going on. Okay. New Zealand USD is pushed back up to resistance, and it's stalling out at resistance. Now, this might be the deciding factor for the New Zealand JPY trade. If price does stall out and turn around here, it's possible that New Zealand USD is also going to turn around because of the kind of a correlation there between these two. It's not a perfect correlation, but they are kind of correlated. Anyway, price is stalling out here on the daily, on the 12-hour, on the 8-hour, kind of, on the 6-hour, the 4-hour. Yeah, it doesn't look that great on these time frames, but point is, we have a potential short here that I might be willing to enter. Well, we have a lot happening today, guys. So there is a potential short here on New Zealand USD. The risk to reward ratio is not fantastic, not at all. But if it breaks this low, I think there's a decent chance that it could head down to this support area that it stalled at previously. Yeah, I'm just going to adjust the support area down a little bit. It doesn't really impact this trade. I'm just kind of adjusting it down based on these recent bounces here. Yeah, so there is a potential short here, guys. It's not that great because of the size of this candle here. Makes the entry and the stop loss a bit wide, and this support area here is pretty close. So it's a little bit of a tricky one, but there is potential here on New Zealand USD. All right, let's take a quick look at these others, and then let's do the summary because I got to go. I have a busy week. Nah. Ooh, Bitcoin's dropping back down to 8K. I don't know why I had that open. Right, let's do a summary here, guys. So if you're in Euro USD, it's moving up quite nicely. You might want to hold on to it. I'm imagining anyone who's still in here has probably closed out part of this trade, or at least is moving their stop loss up to kind of follow this trade along a little bit. So yeah, just hold on to that one. AUDJPY price is dropping right now, so this might be triggering a bit sooner than I expected. I'm looking for a potential short here, a short continuation from this resistance area. Price bounced along this as support. Price broke through support, pulled back up to resistance, and is now struggling to get back above. So I'm looking for a potential short here. This one's a bit, it's a bit of a new setup in terms of the setups we trade, and I haven't really fully gone over it in the course yet. So it might be a bit confusing to you guys, but we'll discuss it further on the forum. There is an existing forum post for this one, so I'll break down some more details about it on the forum. Gold, potential short from resistance up here. This one's a bit of a trickier trade, a bit of a riskier trade given the strength of this bullish movement on gold. So, you know, this one's not for everyone, but there is a potential here. Euro CAD, price stalling out at resistance. This is a very risky trade. you know, I would go in with a pretty tight target on this one, given all the movement to the left where price has stalled out. You know, I'm not going to enter this one myself. I'm pointing it out for you guys. I think it's a very risky trade. But for those who want to enter, then, you know, you can go for it. GBP AUD, price stalling out on support. This is counter trend. So I would go with an initial target of 1.5R, but you could potentially extend that to the resistance area. It's a pretty strong trend down, but last time it was down here, it did bounce away quite significantly. So there's definitely potential for a long here. New Zealand JPY, very similar to AUDJPY. In fact, I'm going to stick them together so they're grouped together. Potential short. This looks like it's going to trigger quite soon on the 12-hour. If it keeps dropping down, we can discuss this on the forum. And New Zealand USD, potential short, which it looks like that just dropped down to there, didn't it? Yeah, it just dropped down to there. So there's a potential short happening here that, you know, I would enter it somewhere like, not exactly where it is now, but somewhere around here. But the problem is that the risk to reward ratio is just not that great on this one. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. So the entry would be somewhere near where it's just fallen to, be below the low of this indecision candle. To get an exact entry, we'd have to run some of the numbers to see the risk to reward ratio and all that. We could post this one to the forum because it looks like it might trigger quite soon. I mean, it just dropped down near to the area I wanted to enter. So, you know, this could trigger at any moment, really. So yeah, let's discuss this one on the forum. Guys, if you could do me a favor and post New Zealand USD, one of you who's in here right now, could you post New Zealand USD and New Zealand JPY to the forum? I've got an appointment that I need to get to very shortly, and I do not have time to make those posts. So if you could post these to the forum with just, for New Zealand JPY, the numbers are roughly like this. So you got an entry price roughly around 70.96, stop loss 71.50, target 69.46. These are very, very rough numbers, and they might change, but those are very rough numbers. New Zealand USD, rough numbers, something like this. Entry at around about 0.65, a bit lower than that actually, a bit lower than that. Entry around about 0.6574-ish, something like that. Stop loss about 0.6607 and target 0.6517. If you guys could please post that for me to the forum, that would be fantastic because I can't. I'll probably, personally, I'd probably wait for the daily here on New Zealand USD. So if this daily candle closes like this, I'd be looking for a short. All right, Gil's posting them, so everyone else just leave it to Gil since he volunteered. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to be back from my appointment at. I'm making it sound super important, like, oh guys, I have an appointment, a big business meeting. The truth is, I'm getting my hair cut, and I had to book it in because the barber I use has just gotten extremely busy lately. And I can't miss her because I have I'm off on holiday soon and my hair is a complete mess. It just grows out like crazy, all my freaking curls. So yeah, it's not a big important business meeting or something like that. I have an appointment to get my hair cut, but I can't miss it, unfortunately. So I need to get out of here, guys. Thank you very much, Gil, for posting it to the forum. I'll respond on the forum with a bit more information as soon as I get back, which I imagine is going to be around about 12-ish lunchtime UK time. So thank you guys for attending, and we can't do Q&A today, unfortunately, but I don't think there's going to be many questions. thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you for tomorrow's webinar, which should start probably at 10 a.m. the same time. So thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you later.